What's going on, guys? McSkillet here. And what's going on, guys? This is McSkillet here. Hey everyone, McSkillet here, and today I have another CSGO video. And this video...
It was in this very spot 5 years ago that I sat here and announced the death of popular YouTuber McSkillet. I received the news that McSkillet has potentially died in a car crash.
3 people were killed and 8 injured in a 100-mile-per-hour car accident. Trevor Heitmann.
Trevor Heitmann.
YouTuber known as
McSkillet. On the 805 going the wrong direction and slams head-on into 43-year-old Eileen Pizarro and her daughter Ariana.
I believe there's an individual who is a danger to himself and a danger to others.
I won't go to prison to get him into a hospital.
At this point, I don't have anything to clarify what possibly made him do what he did.
My prayers and thoughts are also for his family as well.
If you know the story of Trevor Heitmann, aka McSkillet, the first thing the community tend to think is suicidal murderer. Comments under my announcement and his videos further that sentiment of what the CSGO community thought of this tragic event at the time. However, 5 years later, I feel like the majority of our community is still fairly ill-informed about the exact sequence of events on that awful day that led to 3 people losing their lives. I'm going to try and shed light on many of the unknown facts, and despite actually personally knowing Trevor, I'm going to try my utmost best to be non-biased. Shout out to Jesus and Coffee House Crime for covering the story in the past and helping me put pieces of the video together. Who was McSkillet? Trevor Heitmann, aka McSkillet, was a Counter-Strike YouTuber just like myself, born on February 18th, 2000. His family described him to be quiet and well-mannered, and that was always my impression as well that I got every time I talked to him. Yeah, I'll call McSkillet. What up, dude?
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
That's the only factory new one.
That's the only factory new one. Trevor had a passion for basketball, but started getting more and more into gaming as he grew older. His content mainly focused around skins. If you don't know what skins are, then you're probably new around here. But for those of you who don't know, Counter-Strike skins are different appearances for weapons within the game. These weapon aesthetics are equipable and tradable, meaning they have value. CS skin values range from cents to millions, and everything in between. Trevor's very first video uploaded to his channel was entitled Top 10 Most Expensive Skins in CSGO, and he continued making content around this theme, gaining a lot of popularity rapidly, amassing nearly 1 million subscribers. As the skin economy took off, so did the introduction of third-party CSGO skin gambling sites. McSkillet was sponsored by many of these sites, but also launched his own projects like Skin.trade, which was a skin trading platform, and CSGO Kingdom, which was a gambling platform. One day, Trevor stopped taking the gambling sponsorships from other sites and saw the opportunity to cash in on his own popularity by entirely promoting his own product. In November 2017, he stepped down from CSGO Kingdom and focused on his latest project, his second skins gambling site called CSGO Magic.
But if you don't know about CSGO Magic, it's my side.
CSGO Magic was a big success, earning him millions of dollars. In fact, it's estimated he'd earned over $10 million from all his business ventures during his short career. In a video posted December 2017, McSkillet showcased his latest large purchase, a McLaren 650S. Inside this vehicle would be his last moments on Earth. In 2018, skins gambling had become insanely popular. A lot of YouTubers outside of the CSGO scene were starting to hop onto the trend and cash in. There were many scandals with YouTubers creating their own sites and not disclosing it to the public, pretending that they just found it.
These two slimy f***s actually own this website.
That's where the "so I just found this new site" meme comes in. Or influencers within the scene just literally straight up scamming their audience. This brought a lot of media attention bad press to the world of CSGO skins, and something had to be done to show that the game creators, Valve, were actively doing something to try and stop all of this. March 2018 came around, and CSGO had a huge update specifically targeting the skins gambling sites. Steam implemented a 7-day trade hold ban on all freshly traded skins, aiming to slow down the transfer of skins massively and hopefully disabling all the third-party gambling sites. They also sent this cease and desist letter to a bunch of the most popular gambling sites at the time. CSGO Magic was one of the sites hit very hard by this update. Some websites, however, aimed to circumvent the ban and did so with some success. Jesus claims he talked to the old dev of CSGO Magic who wanted to rebuild the site to circumvent the ban, but Trevor didn't want that, and he specifically asked for the site to be shut down. In my opinion, this shows that he'd made his money, he was happy with it, and he no longer wanted to be a part of this casino industry and was actively trying to leave it. There may be many reasons for this, one of them being the skins casino industry is a dark, grey, murky area with some not so nice people in it. I would not be surprised if he'd been the subject of some big attacks. It wasn't only CSGO Magic's bot inventories that were banned, but also McSkillet's personal CSGO inventory was also banned. Trevor told me the reason his personal inventory was banned was because he used the same telephone number on the CSGO Magic bots as on his personal account. So when all of the bots got banned in the ban wave, his personal account also went with it. They all got banned together. McSkillet lost approximately $100,000 worth of skins at the time. In today's market, this value would obviously be far, far higher. You're probably looking at a range from $500,000 even all the way up to the $1 million mark. Unfortunately, I'm unable to see his inventory because of the trade ban, so can't state a value with 100% accuracy, but let's just say it would be a lot of money.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow. That's probably like 50, 60K.
I did actually dedicate an entire video to McSkillet's inventory 6 years ago, as soon as it got banned. Many people blamed what happened next on his inventory ban, but knowing how much money he had as backup, this was a very small drop in the ocean. And I've been assured by people that knew him closer than I did that he wasn't really fazed by this, and this was definitely not the reason for what happened next. On the 12th of April, he messaged me telling me that the skins gambling industry was pretty much done, and I'm told he was going to move to Fortnite and was setting up a Fortnite tournament website, trying to cash in on the massive popularity of the game at the time. It definitely seemed like he wanted a far cleaner business venture and was heading in that direction. Interestingly, his Skype shows that he was online a few days ago. This is undoubtedly because of the multiple lawsuits surrounding the tragic events of that day and gathering evidence. But I'm getting sidetracked. My point is, he hadn't given up. He hadn't lost all hope, and he was trying to pick himself up and move on to something far, far cleaner. Trevor changed his Twitter bio to retired YouTuber and aimed to fall out of the public light and more into the background business world of gaming. In August of 2018, Trevor's mental health started to deteriorate. He told his parents he thought he was having a meltdown. He told his mother he'd driven his McLaren at 150 miles an hour on a 25-mile-an-hour road. Trevor's dad was obviously incredibly concerned to hear that and asked him what would have happened if the police caught you. Trevor's response was, "Neither the police or their bullets can hurt me." I think this statement is key to shedding light on the state of Trevor's mental health at the time. He believed essentially he was invincible. Trevor continued telling his parents that he was having a mental breakdown, and 5 days later, Trevor's neighbor and family friend called 911. She was, in fact, a certified psychiatrist and had genuine massive concerns for the mental well-being of Trevor. Here's that call.
Hello, 911. I'm calling to report an emergency. I believe there's an individual who is a danger to himself and a danger to others. I do believe that he is suffering from a mental illness and that he should be detained on a 5150.
Police then arrived at Trevor's house. The following body cam footage shows their interactions with the Heitmann family.
Okay, and it's your son that you were concerned about? Yes. Okay, what's
just doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Like what?
Driving 100 miles an hour in his McLaren.
Is he home?
25 miles an hour, so he's upstairs sleeping right now.
Has he done anything today?
His mother out of the house, he's asleep right now.
Okay. But has he done anything today? Okay. How old is he?
18.
Who bought the car for him?
He bought it.
He bought it?
He bought a McLaren?
Millions of dollars, yeah.
At 18 years old?
He's a very intelligent kid. He made $4 million in 10 months.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
He's got to teach me his ways.
not right now.
Okay, so what do you want us to do?
Take him for a psychological evaluation.
I mean, he's got to meet certain criteria, though.
Well, let's see. He's kicked his mother out of the house. His mother's in the garage. He kicked his sister out of the house.
Take his mother out of the house. She lives here.
Right.
She is leaving on her own. He says,
Well, he threatened her. So, and there's a text that said he would threaten her with physical violence.
Where's that
She
text?
Yeah, she's right over here.
I have it right here. He told me to, if I don't get out, he's gonna get more violent. And he said, get out and never come back.
has he been violent toward you guys?
He's rented an apartment. He's moving in September 2nd. He's got manic behavior.
He's never been diagnosed with
He needs to go into a doctor.
Okay. Before you start, ma'am, there's a criteria. He has to be gravely disabled. He has to have a credible threat against somebody. He has to have or harmful to his own self. There's only certain criteria that we can take him under. But let me explain this to you, sir. I cannot violate someone's civil rights. We have to have a reason to just talk to him. So we need a threat. And if he's just up laying in his bed because he's driving that thing 120 miles an hour, I can't give someone a psychological evaluation based on that. We can't just compel him to go see a doctor. Is he using drugs?
No, I don't believe so.
Does he use alcohol?
He doesn't drink. He doesn't do anything.
We need to get him to a doctor. We don't know how to get him to the doctor.
Have you offered to take him?
I have. He said he doesn't need a doctor. He said he's absolutely perfectly fine.
Okay.
I said, if you drive 125 miles on the wrong side of the road, 150 to 25 miles an hour, the police will come to you. Because the police won't stop me. And why? Because they're scared of me. He said, the police will be terrified of me.
Well,
I
if
said,
we stop him, he'll go to jail for reckless driving and he'll get his vehicle
He
impounded.
said they'd be too afraid to stop me.
Well,
And he said that his skin is tightened and hardened and bullets wouldn't even be able
Oh, and I
to
said,
stop
what if they pulled a gun on you? He said, a bullet wouldn't hurt my skin. He said, a bullet wouldn't hurt my skin.
well, he obviously needs some help.
Like, do you think he'll try fighting us when we walk in the room?
We don't want to create that if we don't have to.
Yeah.
What we're trying to say.
Because right now there's no crime, and we don't want to get into a big, have everyone here, roll here, lights and sirens.
No, I agree.
Get 10 cops here if there's no need to.
If they can't do anything, and we can't compel him to do any of this stuff.
I want him safe. All I want is him to be safe. If I evict him, I'm afraid he could hurt someone else or himself.
But do you want him to hurt you?
I don't want him to hurt anyone.
See, the only reason that I'm hesitant to go in there is because I don't want him.
That's a different psychiatrist.
I don't want to force a violent confrontation.
But he should be held on the 5150.
Okay, based on what? Give me some criteria.
He's a danger to himself.
How is that?
He reported that he was driving the wrong way.
Okay, well, let me ask you, are you his psychiatrist?
I am not.
Have you ever seen him
I have not.
in any professional setting? Okay. If you're driving on the wrong side of the road, somebody, I can't, it's an infraction, and it's not going to work. He has to be doing something violent. I won't go to prison to get him into a hospital when it's illegal for me to do so. I hear what you're saying, and I'm not discrediting that, but we have to have something substantial, because we're getting hearsay he's driving down fast down the wrong side of the road. Yeah, it's wrong, but it's an infraction. It's not, and we didn't witness, it's got to be something.
What I can tell you, though, is based on what I heard, although you are right, I did not evaluate him and I am not his psychiatrist.
Right.
It would be enough criteria, were I treating him, to diagnose him with a mental illness and to hold him involuntarily because he's reporting behavior that is placing the public at risk and placing himself at risk. And he did threaten to harm his mother, and he threatened to harm
But we don't have any of those threats.
We're trying to see if maybe the three of us can convince him to go get help.
We understand there's something going on right here.
Yeah, clearly.
he's at the beginning stage of something going on right there that we don't have enough yet.
Police were scared to do anything due to fear of being on the wrong side of the law and the repercussions for themselves. In my opinion, the correct thing they should have done here is go and talk to him personally. This way they could have assessed the situation for themselves and not just gone off the hearsay and everything that they had been told, but personally assessed the danger and the risk of the situation. Unfortunately, they were very unwilling to do so. Trevor was asleep upstairs in his room at the time, but earlier that day he had still been making crazy statements and even threatened to hurt his own mother. You can see Trevor's dad's car parked diagonally on the driveway in an attempt to block his son from leaving after he woke up for massive fear of the harm he posed to himself and others. Coffeehouse Crime has a theory that Trevor may have been confusing game mechanics with reality, believing in his manic state that he'd essentially be able to no-clip through objects if he was driving fast enough in the wrong direction. We'll never know if this was true or not, but given that theory, his intent was never murderous. The police unfortunately said they were unable to detain Trevor because he hadn't broken any laws.
We have laws that we have to do.
And they left. California's Welfare and Institution Code does, in fact, allow for an adult who is experiencing mental health issues to be involuntarily detained for up to 72 hours. Trevor's dad and neighbor psychologist entered his room, where Trevor made strange noises and screamed at the neighbor. Trevor's dad told the police he'd take his son to the hospital that day, and apparently Trevor even agreed to go. Later that afternoon, Trevor hopped into his McLaren and rammed his dad's SUV out of the way in order to leave the property. He then rammed his supercar through the gates of Ashley Falls Elementary School. These gates had a large sign on them that read STEAM. I don't know if this is coincidence or not, but potentially this could have been a trigger to someone in a manic mental state. He then allegedly got out of his car, smashed a window, and then got back into it.
Did he just break through the fence? He just took off. You know you're driving in a school zone, right?
Hey, what's wrong? What you doing
After that, he rammed the school gate once again. Here's the video of that encounter.
He's coming back! He's coming back! Hi! You have a crazy ass on your campus right now driving in a sports car, chasing after the kids! I mean, there is a crazy ass. Call 911 right now!
You can clearly see that these strangers who didn't even know Trevor noticed that something was seriously wrong with him mentally. Trevor then drove onto the highway on the wrong side of it at speeds of over 100 miles an hour. At 4:36 p.m., Trevor's vehicle was involved in a head-on collision with an SUV. This collision instantly killed Trevor, but as many of you probably already know, he was not the only person killed. In the SUV were a mother and daughter, Eileen and Ariana Pizarro. Eileen was a 43-year-old therapist working with children that had been abused, and Ariana was her 12-year-old daughter. She had a passion for reading, music, and singing. Eileen was a huge fan of The Rock, and following how big the news got, he sent out his thoughts and prayers to the family.
Hey, Angelo. Dwayne Johnson here, and I had turned on my phone and I saw a flood, thousands and thousands of tweets had come through. I just want to say thanks for reaching out, man, and I'm so sorry to hear about your sister and your mom and this tragic loss that you and your family are going through.
Eileen left behind multiple family members, one of which was Dominic Pizarro, her son. And here's what he had to say about the situation.
He was not in his right frame of mind, and that was the primary reason that he found himself going the wrong way on a highway, and that my prayers and thoughts are also for his family as well. They cared about others so much, and that's what I'm trying to keep in my heart as well.
No drugs or alcohol were found in Trevor's body. I don't think he wanted to die. I just think he was having a manic episode. Mania can be caused by a sudden, extreme, stressful life scenario. I've heard rumors that the developers working for him had stabbed him in the back and stolen from him. I've tried to dig a little deeper into these rumors, but unsurprisingly, nobody really wants to talk about that era, and getting in contact with the right people is really, really hard. To my knowledge, Trevor stored quite a lot of his wealth in crypto. He was publicly into it, replying to people's tweets on Twitter regarding crypto, and I've spent many, many months trying to source old contacts of his that may lead to exposing any of Trevor's crypto wallet addresses so I can dig even deeper. I found one of them and I had a crypto forensics team look into it. My goal was to see if any large amounts of crypto had suddenly been taken around the dates of the manic episode that might have explained or caused the mental breakdown that did happen. Unfortunately, we hit a dead end and we could not get enough information from this single wallet address alone. Many of these old contacts of his are now big players in the crypto casino community, running some of the most popular and successful crypto casinos online at the moment. They have hundreds of millions to their name, and not too surprisingly, they don't want to talk to me. In my personal opinion, I think it was some kind of large event that caused Trevor's mental health to plummet. Unfortunately, I cannot confirm this, and I can't even tell you what it was. It's just a gut feeling I have, and I may be completely incorrect. I don't know if we'll ever truly know if a large event in his life was the cause, or just the general pressure of trying to run multiple businesses whilst having them attacked and shut down, and people you trusted potentially scam you at the tender age of 18 years old. I've been following the story legally for quite some time, and to my knowledge there were 4 lawsuits going on. 2 from the family of the deceased against Trevor's family and the state, 1 from Trevor's family against the state, aka against the police for a lack of action, and 1 from the state against Trevor's family for not acting sooner. I even received a call from a lawyer working for the state of San Diego. I'm under strict instruction not to use her voice, not to use her name, not to use her face, not even in any kind of distorted manner whatsoever. So I'll try and sum up our call while staying on the correct side of the law. Hey, give me something I can use against Trevor's family in this lawsuit. No. This year, we finally got some closure on the case. It was ruled that the state were in fact at fault and should have done more to stop Trevor and protect the public. Ironically, the police's fear of the law to take any action led to far greater consequences for the innocent family members and for themselves. Not many people fully understand the story behind McSkillet, but I hope this video has helped shed some light on a quite complicated situation. It's obvious to me, and to his parents, and to complete strangers at the time, that Trevor was not in a healthy way mentally whatsoever and having some kind of mental breakdown. This is what led to his death, and unfortunately the death of 2 innocent people. His actions are still in no way excusable, but I think people deserve to know that the Trevor of that day was not the Trevor I knew and was not the Trevor the public knew. Do you have any more interesting facts about the scenario that I haven't covered? Does the news that Trevor was clearly not in a healthy state affect your opinion at all of the scenario? I'll be reading through the comments, hunting for any more information at all on this story, but hopefully the majority of you are now a lot more informed about it. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Peace.